online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi everybody, welcome to Dancing with the Stars here on AFTERBUZZ TV. It's week 9, the quarterfinals. I am Suri Serano. Kristen Bird is out on assignment this week. Hi Kristen. And Jake as well. But joining us, Miss Darvina.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Looking fabulous.
Thank you, darling.
As always. Thank you. And to your left, we have one of your buddies who was actually your eyes and ears in studio last night.
Yes,
please introduce her.
This is true. So I wasn't able to make it last night, unfortunately. So Belinda, my darling Belinda, decided to come and help us out. So
I love it.
She was there. She's got all the scoops. So we're gonna get into it.
New Zealand.
Yes. Oh, we got little clappings and everything.
Oh, I love
sound
that.
effects. Thanks, Marissa.
Can I do it again?
Okay. Well, I mean, I mentioned this to you before we started the show. My Twitter feed has been blowing up. Kristen's has been blowing up. Everybody. I mean, I even watched E! online live this morning, and everybody's talking about last night's show and all of the drama. And you know,
drama.
We will get to all sides of it, but I will say this: every season there is always drama. So this was no, shock. It's not shocking to me.
I mean, it is a little bit shocking to me. Like, I 100% understand what you're saying. Like, 100%. Yeah. There is always drama, but it has gone to a whole new level this season. I don't know.
Has it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, from the baby, sex, what baby is it going to be, to, the hospital coming back with the, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Usually it's about the dancing, but I feel as though this season it's become more about the packages before the dances.
Okay,
that's my opinion.
We're going to get into it. But
we're gonna.
Yes, we are definitely going to delve deep. What I want to say about what you just said is that I've been doing this for 7 seasons here at AFTERBUZZ and following it very closely. It all these dramas and everything, it all runs together for me. I feel like that's why, like I said, I'm not surprised with all of the uproar. There's always a shocking elimination. There's always, drama, people getting injured. Certain seasons it's more about the injuries because it is that time of season when people start getting injured, like Nick's hip and things like that, or more injuries than per se the beginning because you've been training for so long. But we'll get there. We're going to cover it all. Let's start off with Alec and Lindsay doing a salsa. Darvina, I'm going to start with you. What do you think?
I thought it was quite weak. I know that they had salsa last week in there when they had the dance, dance off, what did they call it? But anyway, neither here nor there. But they had it last week, and Bruno was like, you need to work on your salsa. And I mean, obviously they did work on it, there was improvements, but the way I looked at it was, this stage in the competition, it just didn't have the fire for me. But it's that first spot. I say it every time when you ask me about the first routine. I don't know sometimes if it's the fact that it's the first one.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of, it's hard to kind of put it on a keel, and then suddenly once everybody else comes in, then you can kind of evaluate.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why, but I just a little bit underwhelmed.
Well, you were in studio. What was your take on it?
Yes, this is the man with the waxed chest.
Yes, that was a package. By the way, I think that was hilarious that they added that in there. It's reality TV, guys. They've got, that was fun.
The girls had fun with him, for sure.
He's having a good time.
Oh, he loved it. I mean, I think he had his chest out. He was confident. So, it was entertaining for sure. Definitely, maybe a bit of nerves. I'm not sure, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Did you see it on TV as well? Or only just in studio?
No, just in studio. So, yeah.
Because I didn't find it that entertaining. I know that you just said it was in studio, and sometimes it is so much better in studio than on TV. It just doesn't read. And for me, yes, he looked amazing and was sexy and whatnot, but I'm kind of at the end of the road with him for myself. I don't mean to be harsh about it, but
I understand what you're saying. It's to the point now where it's like, okay, great. It's great that we're seeing you get your chest waxed and all, but like, let's see some legit dancing here. Right. This is a dance competition,
right? I feel like. Do you feel like he's kind of plateaued?
Yeah. I agree with that for sure. I think so, but you never know. Next week, now that he's kind of survived, he might be like, all right, let's kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got it in him too. Like, he still could surprise us, I think.
He could.
If he wants to make the decision to do it. I think that's the decision he needs to make in his head.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm worried about him. I feel like next week could be the week that he goes. I don't know about you guys, but
chest is wax now. What else can you do?
That's so funny. Oh my God. Everybody's faces, by the way, when they're filming that. I mean, that's good TV. That's funny TV, and that's what you guys got to remember out there. This is a reality show.
That's right.
The producers have a job to create good reality television that's entertaining. I get it's a dance show. I really do appreciate all points of view. I know. We're like Darvina's jump where she's ready to go.
One thing I have to say real quick on that. I 100% know what you're saying, but last season there was drama, but it was natural. Like, Derek hurt himself.
Yep.
This happened, that happened. Sorry, I'm having an earphone issue. I'm sorry. Can I just take them off?
We can still hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like, last season Derek had these issues. He hurt himself. There was drama because of traveling and stuff like that, but it still was natural. It wasn't forced, I didn't think. This, I feel like they're waiting in the wings for the camera to be like, oh, are you upset? I feel like it's a bit too
I get
produced.
that. I've heard in past seasons, though, from cast members, pro dancers and such, that, it was several seasons ago that they started putting cameras everywhere and it running at all times. I mean, because they want to capture those, moments, and you're on camera at all times. So for me, that it's no different now. Maybe there's been more of those things that you feel are contrived this season. I don't know. I'm just kind of exploring all angles
I feel you.
of it. Because Kristen and I can't really speak for her, but I know that we've had numerous conversations over 7 seasons that this happens every year in terms of stuff that's kind of created. We will get there. We're still not there yet. But anyway, they got 3 8s for a 24 out of 30. Fair?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this time of year, being in week 9, I mean, if it had been earlier this season, I might have given 7s.
Yeah, but, I mean, I wouldn't have been opposed to 7s across the board because, it's that time of the season, like you said.
We need to see much better. Okay, let's move on. Next up was Alexa and Mark, contemporary. Correct?
Yes.
Contemporary. I did watch. Wow. We have a lot to say about this one. I wrote down wow probably like 10 times. I really did. I've certainly been a fan of Mark's for many seasons. His work is phenomenal, stands out, and will stand the test of time, in my opinion. His creativity, his artistic qualities, everything he brings to the table. I think in life, sharing your personal stories, like Alexa did about her struggle with bulimia, is what is life-changing. And I think Mark said it post-show, that it was bigger than a dancing TV show, that moment. And by the way, that was one of my favorite numbers I've ever seen him do.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was all about Alexa, wasn't it? Yeah. And that whole message, like you were saying, it's just that coming together brought her out of her shell, and it healed so many other people. It was healing. It was art. I had goosebumps from head to toe. What about you?
You were in the studio.
It was so real, and I think that's why everyone was just touched. And I think maybe dance is you need to touch people. You have to be real.
Right.
It's not it wasn't superficial, but it was electric in there. It was just, the atmosphere was amazing, and everyone had goosebumps. It was just wow. What did we just witness? It was amazing.
I just got chills just even
was
talking about it now.
So much talent.
Yeah.
so much talent. She was amazing. I would never have thought that she would be not a professional. She was. It was
So
really
true.
really amazing. Yeah,
Everything that dance is about.
100%.
Letting go.
Yep.
Everything about it. I mean, I was like locked in.
Yeah.
I could watch it over and over again.
It was
And
amazing.
I was so happy that she nailed the choreography. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There was no issues with her having any slip-ups or whatnot. So it really was just... There was nothing to fault, in my opinion. I was just taken in. It was like, as soon as it started, it was just art. It was just right there in front of you, and that's what I love about this show. That's what it's really about.
Absolutely.
You know, I just loved that.
Time stood still for a
Yeah.
moment.
It really did.
Yeah, it did.
And for me, you know, she just kept climbing every week. And I'm very disappointed that she's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because, again, of how this show is run.
It's true.
Everybody, calm down. I get it. Emotions run high. I mean, you're good friends with Mark, and you hear it from every side. And I know enough about the show, you know what I mean, to not be surprised. And but it's such a shame.
Such a shame.
Because, again, like last season when Mark was off with his partner way too soon, this is a couple that could have very well been not only been in the finale, but potentially won.
And I would love to have seen their freestyle as well.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody
because
would.
it really would have been a showstopper. After seeing this week, can you imagine what they would have come out with?
I know.
I
She
just feel
got
like
confident.
they didn't get that opportunity. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
'Cause it just doesn't seem fair, but that's
No,
the
it's
way
not.
it goes, and that's the way the voting, you know, you got to vote at the end of the day, you know. So I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Dance fans, people that are fans of amazing dance, and people that really are growing. You want the best in the finale. You want, you know, and anything short of that is like you're doing a disservice.
Disappointing, exactly.
Very.
100% agree with that.
Very. I'm sure you spoke with Mark. How was he feeling? I mean, I'm sure he's grateful for the whole experience and going on a high note.
So I think he's really happy that Alexa put it all out there on the dance floor. You know,
Right.
that's what he said. He was just so happy that she got to dance to her full potential.
Yeah.
And that just shows, I think, he's a great partner like that, and he was selfless with that routine. It was all about her, and I think Alexa had a great journey. You know, she really gained so much confidence watching her. I'm like, I loved watching her week by week by week. She just kept creeping up there, and she should be extremely proud.
She went out on a high.
Proud.
Really did.
She went out on a high. Yeah.
They say that about a lot of couples when they leave, but she really
did.
really affected a great amount of people, you know, and
Definitely.
like, yes.
And also how brave to discuss, you know, that on, you know, national television.
Yeah, very
about
brave.
having, you know, an eating disorder. A lot of girls needed to hear that, you know. It's really important to bring those messages out, and she used that platform, you know, and I think it was great.
That's for me, it doesn't get better than that in life. Like, you're reaching a lot of people and about important things, not just, you know,
exactly
all the other nonsense, you know.
Exactly.
So, and it's a very brave thing to do, because it's not easy to talk about and open yourself up like that
Exactly.
to everyone. So, they got a perfect 30.
Not that it mattered.
Yeah, not that it mattered that they had a
Still on
perfect
the
night, but very well deserved. I think
Definitely.
we all agree on that.
Great job.
Moving on to Carlos and Whitney doing the Argentine tango to Justin Bieber, which is very strange. I love Tom Bergeron's comments about, I never thought I'd say all those words in one sentence.
He was on fire last night.
I know he was.
Great.
He does not miss a beat, that man. That's the best.
So funny.
Okay, so here's the thing with this number. I sat there, you know, I'm a fan of everybody. It is, God, it's hard to do what they're doing. That's coming from a dancer.
100%.
So that said, I was sitting there watching, and I'm like, what is missing for me? What is it? Like, I look perplexed the entire time. Like, I wish I had a camera on me, like the whole routine. And then when Carrie Ann said, okay, you know, it was good, but I'm really struggling with this. I was like, yes,
Yep.
that's exactly how I felt. Well, how did you feel in studio?
There was some sort of disconnect. It was amazing, but there was just something wasn't quite connecting for I think for all of us. It was good. It was, you know, there was some talent there, but there was just a disconnect, to be honest. And I'm not sure why.
You know, for me, I 100% see that disconnect, and the only thing I can put it down to is the connection, maybe their connection, or there's something that's just not there. And I think it's not the dance ability, it's not that. I'm an authentic connection. I don't know, it just didn't seem authentic.
Well, they were talking about Julianne was talking about the passion. You know, Argentina, there should be that passion.
Yeah, I think maybe
there was that fire in his movement, but
different kind of fire though. Do you know what I mean? There's one thing hitting something, and there's another thing when it's internalized and then it comes out. You know, and I think that's where maybe there's an issue.
Right.
Yeah. Because he has got everything.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So when you say that, I was like, great, thank you. We're not alone. We're all feeling the same thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like something that you can't really pinpoint, but it's not where you know you want it to be.
Yeah.
The fire. Where's the fire?
That's so true. But also I have to say, the routine was, to me, there was a few little like bits where it didn't quite connect. Like I wasn't sure if it was, you know, this lift or the leg. It didn't seem like everything finished. Like the hand holds, like it just looked a little tentative in certain places. I don't know, maybe I'm misreading that. Did it?
No, that sounds about right.
You know, it just felt a little
like
maybe nervous
underwhelming.
energy. I don't know.
It seemed like a lot going on too.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And I don't know if that's the choreography or how it was done.
It did.
A little bit.
With the door too.
The door was
Yeah, I like the idea.
I love the idea.
Just didn't really work overall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not to take, I mean, he's fantastic. So is she.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't have their scores on here. Do you remember what they got? Sorry, I have scores everywhere else except for them apparently. I'm sure you're going to tweet me their scores. Don't need to. I'm sure. I was like, I don't remember where they fell on that, but let's move on to Bindi and Derek doing a Viennese waltz to Miss Alexandra Jean's, Mark Ballas's girlfriend, Roses and Violets, which, by the way, congratulations. It hit number 10 overall on the charts today, which is so phenomenal and such a beautiful song. And really, that song is amazing, right?
I know. I can't stop listening to it.
I can't either.
Whenever I put it on, I listen to it like 10 times.
Repeat. I do that. I do that to songs and then I wear them out and I'm like, okay, I'm over it.
It hasn't got to that point for me yet.
No, it has not yet either for myself.
I don't think it will.
You know, Carrie Ann talked about Bindi's like watching a sunrise, and I completely was on Carrie Ann's page last night.
Yep.
I completely agree. For me, I go to a place of almost meditation watching her. Does that sound cheesy? But that's the truth. It's this hopeful, loving, light, amazing energy that I just want to be immersed in, and I think many other people do. And I know I get a lot of flack because everybody knows I love Derek's work. Yes, that's separate from how incredible this human being is. And I feel her, and I'm through the TV, not even in person. Right? What was it like in person?
Oh, I've been looking forward to watching her in studio for a long time, and you just encaptured by her energy. She is such a beautiful human. And how old is she?
17.
Isn't that mind blowing?
So much life experience.
So mind-blowing.
She's so real, but she's so confident in herself that it's just
I love
you just
that
want to
about
go
her.
with her, you know. Can I have some of your energy? Because people nowadays don't have that.
No.
She is such an amazing person.
She's like a real life angel. Princess, angel, whatever you want. I don't care if any of you give us flack for saying any of this.
She's
whatever.
amazing.
That's
Go
what
for
she
it.
is. Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
truth.
And you guys have the issue.
She's amazing.
It's true.
Seriously, right?
It's so true. Honestly, I was just goosebumps from head to toe. The choreography was great. I loved the risks that they took with a traditional dance, you know, with that like jump. she went for that. Like,
yes,
there was
she did.
no
Abandoned.
like if, ands, or buts about it. She said, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And like, that's every time I watch her, she gives me that hope of like, if you commit to whatever it is that you're doing, that passion will always exude out of you. You know?
You know what she reminds me of too, and this is a far off in another field, but not really, of like a dancer that's beginning her career that could really actually be a pro dancer one day. Does that? I know that's like a little bit out there, but that's what came to me when we were thinking about when I was visualizing the routine.
She interprets the movement. You know, it's so sophisticated.
God,
and just,
very sophisticated.
At 17, I didn't know 17. My left from my right hand. I mean, that's a little, you know, extreme, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
That was another moment for me. The music, when everything comes together like that, you know, it was just, and with the blindfold, it was just perfect.
And
to
Derek was flawless. Always, but specifically,
and you could tell that he was he wanted to do the best for Bindi,
definitely.
And he was putting a lot of pressure on himself, which Derek tends to do. That's Derek's, you know, MO. He's very hard on himself, but he should be so proud, because he's, you know, these pros are continually creating. This isn't like 1 week. He's been doing this week after week, and every week for the most part we're just in awe. That's a lot of pressure. And Derek, you're living up to it, mate.
And I know they, on a couple packages, they touched on this, but like, this is the time of the season when some of the pros are like, hit a block, you know, you're gonna hit a roadblock, because you know you want to do better, be better, create more. And artists, you hit a block for a second, you know, and it's funny to see the partners kind of like, it's okay, we're gonna get through it.
I love that. And I love seeing, I feel like we're seeing more of Derek's personality too. Like, did you see him when he was like making sure her hair was down? Couple. You know, like after they danced and they done the group number. It's just, you can just tell there's a great energy, and
he loves her. She inspires him.
You can feel that. Just I
mean, imagine being around her energy all day.
How can you not be uplifted? Exactly. Right. Exactly.
It's so true.
Perfect score, 30.
Well, duh.
Deserved.
Deserved.
Yeah. Very well deserved. Okay. Deep breath. Here we go. Moving on to Tamar and Val, doing a contemporary. Of course, everybody that's watched, she could not perform this live on show. She was still in the ER, went there after dress rehearsals, so they had to use the rehearsal footage to judge her at this point in the competition. They aired the rehearsal footage. I know as a dancer, and you all know you've been in business, you know, rehearsal's a rehearsal. It's not the show. You're not completely on. You try to do your best, but you're also there's a relaxed element to it, because you're just, you know, getting through it. And then of course she's very sick with pneumonia, with her schedule and whatnot. Before we even go to the scores and Val and that whole moment and whatnot, what do we think? Let's just start with, what do we think about the rehearsal footage and that dance, given her state of being and going to the hospital immediately following that?
You mean, how did I find the
dance that was judged, that it was aired? Let's just start there.
Okay,
we have so many things to talk about.
You got it. Perfect. I like this. Well, it was rehearsal. It was pretty evident that it was a rehearsal.
Right.
Very hard to judge a rehearsal, like the judges said. It was messy. She wasn't 100% on her choreography.
Sure.
And it wasn't up to par for this stage in the competition. Doesn't mean that I don't think that she has the ability to be, but that is not what we saw on that footage.
Right.
I don't, you know, but it was a rehearsal. She didn't think it was going to be put on air.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. Imagine if everybody else's rehearsal footage was shown. You know, there'd be some point where we'd be like, whoa.
Some people don't even make it through one pass.
Right.
Like, I was there for Paula Dean's, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, sometimes we have to stop and start again. That's, you know, that's what happens. So the fact that she made it all the way through, considering she was ill, kudos, 100%. Like, mad respect. The fact that she even, you know, came back and all of that. But on the dance, when you're looking at everything else, I just, you know, I think that the scoring was fair.
Yeah,
definitely.
What was it like watching rehearsal footage in the studio?
It was, I mean, obviously I think it was probably at maybe 75-80%, but I think that what the judges said is if it had been in studio, you would have got the whole atmosphere, and obviously she would have upped it to 100% input. So it just would have been really good to see it in show with the atmosphere and all the props and things. So it's disappointing, to be honest, but
what was the
frustrating.
like?
Frustrating.
Were people a bit like bums? Were they expecting her to come out, or?
Well, we all knew what was happening, but it was just you can't beat a live show, to be honest. And how do you kind of get a feeling from something that was kind of, just 70%, 80% done previously, and obviously she wasn't well. So it's a bit frustrating.
For me, surprisingly, because obviously she hasn't been my favorite. This hasn't been my favorite couple to watch all season compared to the rest. I agree with you on the footage. However, I actually was pleasantly surprised by her in that footage compared to prior weeks. Not saying it was better than last week's and whatnot, but just I wasn't like, oh, she's totally out of it and disconnected, like I've been saying for so long. Man. I mean, you can't compare rehearsal footage to the show. You just can't.
You just can't. It makes it so difficult. But it was nice to see her do a contemporary, I wanted to see that release in her, and, so it would have been nice to see it live. It's such a shame. Maybe they'll give her an opportunity. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see next week.
You never know.
And then here we get into Val having to stand there and receive the judges' scores. And I agree with Tom. He's always very protective of his partners, which is admirable and a great quality. I expect nothing less from Val. And they were given an 8.77, which was probably pretty fair, given that footage.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was hard to sit there, and Val, you know what I mean? It was hard to sit there and watch Val take that when he just wanted to scream.
Yes, you could feel that.
Right? Did you feel it in studio?
He was. Yeah, you could feel it.
I mean, he had to stand there and take it, and he did not want to hear anything that judges had to say.
That was rough, as a pro, and then to have your partner just not be there, and then it must have been rough on him. This is his job, he's a professional dancer. Circumstances, it really, really is, and bless his heart to have to stand there on his own. That was rough.
Yeah. I know he stuck up and said the rest of what he wanted to say about his partner post-show in the press line as well. So if you want to see his comments, you can find them online, which is just more support. Whatever. Anyway, okay. So their total was 22 out of 30. We have to discuss. It's been all over the internet. Even on E! Today, I mentioned to you, they were live talking about how she shouldn't have been competing. She has pneumonia. She's sick. She could barely stand up. And I know you have some comments about that just because you saw it physically in studio. Yes. She was having a hard time standing up. I could see that at home. Let's talk about this. Should she have been competing? Should she not have?
They had a live feed of her coming from the car to the studio, and from my understanding she probably had about a minute to get dressed.
Insane.
And then straight out I was wow, she's actually right in front of me. She did the dance, she did it pretty well considering the circumstances, and then they sat down on the park bench, and she was struggling to even, I think
her breathing seemed really heavy.
She was struggling very much, and then they had to go up for the decision for who's going to be be eliminated, and she could barely stand. I was concerned, her knees were buckling.
Right.
She was not well, and I questioned whether or not she would be allowed to do that, because what would have happened if she had collapsed?
Here's the thing,
though. That's a really good point.
Here's the thing, though.
Duty of care.
Right. With Kim and her heart condition, everything, the doctors wouldn't allow her to fly. Physically, you're not allowed to do this, whatever. Doctor's orders.
Yeah.
With her, I'm sure doctors gave her orders when she was leaving the hospital. Like, if her life had been on the line, then they probably would have said, no, you are absolutely not allowed to dance. You know what I mean? There's lawyers, there's everything that's involved.
That's right.
And so I've got thoughts on this, but I'm going to go to you first and then give you mine.
So for me, I just don't think it was fair to the rest of the people in the competition, because basically she just had to show up, from my understanding, after that footage being shown in order to not be disqualified.
Really? Okay.
That was my understanding of...
She just had to physically be in studio, not dance.
That's what they said, yes.
Because she already didn't dance. She already didn't do her main dance. So are you telling me that the group dance was going to mean you're in the competition or you're not? That would make no sense. So for me, I think it's not fair for all of the other people. I understand that she's sick. This isn't something that she planned.
Sure.
I 100% appreciate that. But someone like went home because, you know, of that, in a way, you know, that might not have gone home. You know, we don't know that. And obviously, yes, you know, the votes are from previous weeks and whatnot, right?
Supposedly.
I suppose it's true.
Say what you all are thinking.
Say it, exactly. Right? I think it's sad, you know? I just don't know. It's like, if you're that sick, is she going to be able to commit to the rest of the competition too? And I look at Alexa, and if she'd have been in next week and the week after that and the week after that, you know that she wants to be there. You know that she's going to give it everything that she's got. I'm not saying that Tamar doesn't want to be there, but there's a different kind of... There's been a lot of drama, I feel like, with their journey as well. It just seems like it's been one thing after another. It doesn't seem like she's necessarily having the best experience.
Yes. Well, Val said this is, even though he's protective of Tamar, it's the most challenging season, I think, for him in terms of challenges with his partner and her scheduling and just kind of everything. I hear you. I think those are very valid points, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. However, maybe because I'm an athlete, I think I come from a mentality of, like, if I were on the show and I was really, really dog sick, but if my life wasn't going to end from going to do it, like, I'm going to go compete because I love it. I want to be there. I've worked really hard. I don't want to let my partner down. And if I'm the type of person that would push through it if I could.
Yeah.
And so I understood her pushing through and you know what I mean, showing up and doing it.
100%.
Yes, there's so much respect for that because, man, how many of us have been dog sick? We're like, I can barely even move, let alone do a dance.
I know.
Yeah.
So the people that have been saying, like, she's so sick, she shouldn't have been dancing, whatever. Like, if we all work, we work and get sick and we still work, you know what I mean? We still push through. And this is one of those, you don't get this opportunity back.
You're 100% correct, yep.
It's gone. She's not going to be invited back to the show. Someone said, like, just have her come back another season. I'm like, what? It doesn't work like that. So kudos to her for doing it. About your point, though, it's hard. It's hard when, you know, somebody goes home that is well and maybe shouldn't have gone home. But again, we could be talking about a totally different situation and that same person going home that shouldn't have been going home because it's a reality
100%.
show, people.
Exactly.
So we can't say that I was about to say Alexander Dean. Alexa went home.
Question for you
because of Tamar. Yes.
I just have.
Yeah.
Do you think if it was somebody else in that situation, the outcome would have been the same?
It's a great question. Let's just throw it out there. If it was Bindi, do I think it would have been the same? I'm just throwing out a name because it's down next to it. I do.
You do?
I do. Yeah. I do. You know what? Because we're going to get to it. We haven't gotten to it with the married couple and all of that drama. I had said early on in the season, I don't remember what episode it was. Maybe I said it off camera to Kristen, y'all. I don't remember.
I think I remember you talking about it.
I did say it. They're going to have the married couple in Jeopardy together because that's more drama. That is good TV, y'all.
So much drama.
We're going to get there, but like, hello, I called that weeks ago and not, patting my own back. I'm just saying, there's storylines and there's things that they wanted to happen. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Do you think if it had been somebody else, it would have happened the same?
I think it depends who it would have been.
Okay.
Which I guess means no. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I would agree with you. I'm going to change it. I agree with you. It depends on who it was.
So
depends on who it was.
That's where I feel like it's gone a little too far. all of this.
She's going to be better.
It might have been a different. I feel like the rules are kind of. I've never seen that.
Here's the thing. I don't think she was, even if she hadn't been sick, I don't think she was going home this week.
I agree with you on that.
So
I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, they were not going home this week.
Regardless of everything.
Yeah, we agree on that.
I don't think she was going anywhere.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, we're gonna the other 22.
Talk about that for days.
I know, right?
Really,
I think everybody does. Did you guys get your fill? Let's move on to Nick and Sharna doing the quick step to. I don't know what the song was, but it was a Great Gatsby theme, which is one of my favorite movies. I wrote down yes a million times on this. I've got to say, out of all that opening sequence of the three boys, I literally could watch that for days. It was God, Sharna. It was one of my favorite numbers ever.
I'll put that.
Ever. I know. I feel like I say that. I've been saying that a lot, but do you put that too?
Yeah, owned it. I was just like, the style, the boys. Wow, beginning with boys.
Yeah, I know that. Right? But that was like a show on Broadway or anywhere.
Exactly
like that was why I watched the show.
Exactly. Not for all of that before and let's see what they were doing in commercial break and let's see them crying. No, because of that right there,
that moment,
special stuff that when you get into your creative zone, like Sharna has been this entire season, and you've got a partner that is just there for the experience, that wants to go for it, and the two of you come together, there's trust and everything. That is what you get. The style qualities. Nick was outstanding. Like, I was in awe. There was such class. Everything. It wasn't just hit. Like, he can be quite harsh with his movements, I find sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, whack it out there. But this was refined.
Yes, it was.
So refined, so cool, just
sexy,
relaxed.
Another level.
So relaxed. I felt like Sean had really kind of given him some of her, her juice in a way, because she's got that just chill, laid back kind of girl thing, and I feel like that really helped him. It was amazing. Showstopper.
Totally. I'm going to go to you in a second. I just have to say that I feel like something's clicked with him. He's 100%. Grown. He's grown as a man.
He has. And I've really enjoyed watching that journey. You know, at the beginning, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of his. It didn't necessarily gel for me. But now, I really like him. I really do. Yeah. I've really grown to like him a lot. And I love his work ethic as well. He's such a hard worker. When you see him in the packages, he is not resting on his laurels whatsoever.
You don't be in one of the most successful bands of all time.
This is true.
For as long as they've gone without being hardworking. Right? What was that like in studio?
Well, all of the Backstreet Boys were there.
Yes, they were.
So jackpot.
I've auditioned for all of them before for their world tour. Really? I got down to the final bits. This is just a small tidbit.
I love
final numbers. But then all the boys came in, and with my heels on, I was taller than all of them except for Nick. So you can't be taller than the boys. That was the end of my audition. Anyway, go ahead.
I think it was probably a booster for him to have them there. To be honest, they were right in the front row, and they were supporting him, and they were fantastic. So, but Sharna, that girl is smoking. And that dress, can I have that dress, please?
I know.
She's amazing. So much energy. She's just...
For me, she's like the Derek.
She's
female.
Yeah, she's got so much energy. She's just so chill, so cool. Yeah. I'd love to have a glass of wine with her.
Oh, yes.
We've
had her so many times. She's so much fun.
Right? Such a good vibe in the studio. Yeah, it was just entertaining.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I want to watch that number back, actually.
It was great.
I don't even care that he was a little off time, with the boys.
I didn't see that. Maybe I was so mesmerized by it that I just was like a bit behind. Because I didn't see that.
Tiny bit, and that's probably why they didn't get all 10s.
To be honest with you, I wish, this is where I think they should have 11s. Routines like this. I was actually shocked that it wasn't all 10s.
It's because of the off time. That's the only reason.
I saw it slightly, but it was minimal.
Watch it back, you'll see it.
Okay.
It's obvious.
Was it with the boys?
With the boys, not with Sharna.
Yeah.
Not with Sharna. With the boys.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I was surprised it was not 10s too, because they've been gifted 10s other people for.
There were just too many 10s yesterday.
It was just stupid.
It was so unfair, because I feel like the people that just needed the 10s didn't get them. Not that they needed them in order to be in the competition, but I feel like they really deserve 10s. I was really like gung ho about that last night when I was watching the show. I was like, what? How is this happening?
I'm not worried about this couple. I've said all along they're in the finale for me. So 28
agree.
Yeah, 28.
And I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be
Cannot wait.
Right?
To me, I'm gonna call it right now. It's Nick and Sharna and Bindi and Derek.
100%.
Those are the final two
And
couples.
what a great for those two.
Amazing, and I think we'd be happy with either winning.
This is true.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move on here, finally, to the Showstopper Team Up Challenge, where, let's see, we have Alec and Lindsay and Carlos and Whitney. They went to Anthem of the Seas, doing a song to, or a dance to We Will Rock You. A fun package, by the way, about all the different activities they're doing and evering. And,
had a great time.
Yeah, it's cool that best friends were hooked up there, meaning Lindsay and Whitney, to getting to be together. Producers pairing everybody up, There's surprises there. Okay, what do we think?
This was like We Will Rock You meets Blue Man Group. It was a bit interesting.
It was really. I'm like,
I was
Blue Man Group?
I was a
It
bit
was interesting.
If you've never seen Blue Man Group, it's all the drumming, YouTube it, exactly, and there's neon,
like blue faces.
Yes, you'll see it.
I just felt like one of the judges said it was a missed opportunity. It 100% was. At this stage in the competition, I felt like there was so much that the boys could have done together, and what they did was just okay. If that was something in a big opening number where there was something else going on somewhere else and that was just a filler, I'd be okay with it.
Right.
But in this stage of the competition, I was like,
okay, but the girls let them do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just saying, right? This is on Lindsay and Whitney for that part that the boys were in. Like, isn't it their job to say, like, no, we got to have something better with the two boys,
100%.
I don't know.
And I think, at this point in the competition, we did see Whitney in her package talking about the pressure. She's been in this position, and last season I don't know if she was eliminated.
Same week
So there was, I think she was getting in her head a little bit,
pressure.
in terms of that, because you do hit a block, like we already said. So maybe they just were so overwhelmed with everything that they had going on that they had to make a decision to just like stay safe.
Yeah.
And just make sure that they could do what they gave them well enough to get by, but it's not really the time for that, unfortunately. Like, I wanted to see them give us something.
Yeah.
All the personality we saw in the package. Where did, you know what I mean? We saw so much personality with the two of them. It was like, boys,
I feel like they were surprised by the comments. Like, you know what I mean? When you do a dance and you're in it and you're like, I worked so hard. It was amazing. It was awesome. And then everybody's like,
rubbish.
No, not so much.
Yeah, I think it was entertaining.
So true.
Maybe they just put their own take on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that it was definitely, it was beautiful with the makeup and the lighting, with the drums. It was good, but obviously not on task with what was given to them. So just a take on their own take, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining in studio. I was surprised with the
judges.
With the judges scores
you
as
were?
well.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. It
Maybe
was fun.
More fun in studio.
Well,
then.
it is,
More fun.
all of that. They seem to have a great time.
Yeah, sure.
It was fun, but maybe not on point with the task.
Yeah, for me it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I
nothing
think.
like that was like mind-blowingly like off my chair, which we'll get to in a second, because there is one that I was like, I was standing in front of my TV like, doing my own dance to it. They got a 24. Fair, considering.
Fair, yeah.
Right?
100%.
All right, so moving on to, where are my other notes? Here we go.
Was it Nick and Tamar next? No, they were last, weren't
No, they were last.
Got
I
you.
think that was put last because
of
the hospital situation, right? So we're moving on to Bindi and Derek and Alexa and Mark, and they went to New York City to do Chicago, which is famous musical, lots of Fosse. I tweeted this last night to all of the 4 of them, and everybody this might be my all-time favorite number I've ever seen on the show. It might be my all-time favorite. I was standing, screaming, and dancing in front of the whole thing. I wasn't doing Beyonce. I was just literally doing everything they were doing.
You were feeling it.
Who wasn't?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like in studio, but on TV, it read amazingly well. I feel like I was at the show, Broadway show.
Yeah.
Derek and Mark annihilated the choreography and that routine. Did they not? I mean, I could talk for days, so go.
I 100% agree. I loved those two girls together as well, seeing them two, you know, partner up and support each other, and it was great from beginning to end, seeing them work together and then seeing that routine come together at the end. It was a showstopper.
Could you tell who was the pro and who was not?
I was literally about to say that.
Amazing.
I had no idea, and it looked like a Broadway production. It 100% did.
Yeah.
I would pay money to see them.
Yes.
Well, those girls can dance.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Fire.
Yeah.
Wow,
so much.
Right? What was it like in studio?
Yeah. This was the one with the umbrella.
No, that's
no.
We're gonna get there. This is Chicago with all the Fosse and
I was on the side, so I didn't really see it from a television perspective front on, but it blew everyone out of the water.
The energy in studio.
It was just electric.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, and just the props and the costumes, it just all came together so well. It was beautiful. So talented.
Good. Oh my gosh.
Those girls can move.
Yeah.
I think how would I ever do that?
When it started, I could not tell the difference of who the pros were and who the celebs were. There's no way. I mean, it was that good. And yeah, I mean, I have to watch it again. It was so
I know.
amazing.
And when they danced together, just the two of them.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yes.
They were so on it.
Perfect together.
And they embodied the show. It wasn't just we're going to do a bit of Chicago and we're going to stand here because Derek told us to do this and we're going to do this or we're going to do that. No, they really embodied it. You know, they were so sexy. It was just great. Fantastic.
Do you know how much time, because going back to their package, do you know how much time they actually had to rehearse? Because, they were under pressure in studio, and then you got to see my favorite part, Mark talking about killing the vibes, Derek.
That was funny.
KTV.
It was so
funny, but
so
they're friends
hilarious.
forever, so you can rip on your friend. But I love, he was like, if I put something on her and it doesn't look good, I move on. I mean, you got to. When you're on time, you don't have time to try and make somebody do something that won't look good on them. That's a good choreographer.
That's professional.
100%. It's they don't have the time.
No.
They've got so much going on. I know that they definitely didn't have a lot of time. Mark,
seem
bless his
very
heart,
rushed.
has been to New York twice in a week. So, I mean, I don't think it was more than a day, maybe, and they were back.
You could just tell that they did not have much time.
Exhausted, and still, that quality of a routine. I wonder how many hours. I'll ask Mark.
Yeah, I want to know. I'd be interested. Yeah.
How many hours were they in a studio to get that down? That would be
I bet
really
it's going to be
interesting
shocking how fast Alexa and Bindi
I bet it was
learned.
a couple of hours.
I mean, this is why Mark and Derek are, two of my favorite pros on the show. It's just, look at the work that they do.
Exactly.
Not dismissing anybody else's work. It's just, wow.
Not at all. Not at all.
Perfect 30. And I would have given 11s, 12s.
Right,
that was
another one.
off the chain. I can't wait to watch that again. Oh, I'm sick. Again, this is why I watch the show. That number.
Exactly.
And I loved her little outburst at the end, Bindi. I love you. She's just,
I know.
bless her heart. It was just so cute.
Just
So
love
cute.
her.
Could you
Everyone
not just
loved it.
drink that in?
I know.
I'm just okay. I can't,
Amazing.
All right. Moving on to Nick and Sharna with Tamar and Val. They headed to Vegas to the Love Show, which is all Beatles music. And they did say, Hey Jude. Let's see. So Tamar arrives straight from the hospital into this performance. And we've already talked about, all of that drama. What did we think of this rumba and this number as a whole?
I felt it's hard. So in regards to Tamar, when I was watching her, it seemed pretty evident that she was kind of being moseyed around the floor. She didn't seem 100% on her choreography, and that kind of took my focus away from the whole group, to be honest with you, when they were all it did.
You were watching her.
I was, but I think that's because I hadn't seen her yet. That was the first time that we'd legit seen her dancing. So I was kind of trying to watch her because I hadn't seen her dance yet. So maybe that's where my head was at. But there was good energy. Like, I don't want to dismiss the whole dance. Like, the lady doing her
flipping.
Oh,
that
wow.
was amazing.
Like, hello, love.
Yeah,
like, that was
amazing.
great. You know, there was a good energy, and Nick stepped up for his partner, and this is the journey that I like to see, because this is the one where you see people just reach out a helping hand, and that's
when
what
somebody needs
I
it.
legit love about watching reality TV for that reason.
Agree.
And that was lovely to see. So although the routine wasn't a showstopper for me like the previous one we just talked about, I still really enjoyed it for very different reasons, you know. But I was a little bit disappointed because I just felt like she didn't know the choreography.
You felt like she didn't know the choreography, or do you think because when you're pneumonia and you're
That's
sick,
true. No, you're right.
you're
Maybe
like
that's
just trying
the case.
to get through it?
And maybe that was it, but it to me it looked like she wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But that could be because she's sick.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's like, then what? You know, should we just not, you know, it's hard to judge someone. It's like, maybe they shouldn't be in if you'll kind of have so many questions about it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure. What did you think in person?
She had, I don't even think that she was in the zone, but I think that she came straight from a car, but she looked like she was enjoying herself. She had a smile on her face, and I think that she was just genuinely happy to be there, to be honest.
Yeah.
She was, you know, and she was, I saw her smile at Nick when they was, you know, she was happy to be there. And I think she did a pretty good job considering she'd just come from hospital and just come from a car
I agree.
3 minutes before. So,
I agree.
She did a good job considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
100%.
And I'm glad she showed up for her team.
Yeah, teamwork, exactly.
That to me was like
dedication.
Respect, mate, because regardless of everything, you made it for the team dance.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I mean? You came
If you
and showed up for your
you
team.
made it.
Yeah.
So I really do respect that side of it. I would just like to have seen it all with her in full health.
Sure. I think we all would.
Of course.
You know, the number was fun. I've seen Love in person, so to try and make a finale number and make it as grand as, you know, it's not going to be a huge stage with what they had. I mean, it was great. That's why I was curious to see what it was like in person.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. For me, it was not at the level of Chicago, but hard to be, because that was phenomenal.
How do you beat that?
She didn't stand out totally for me like she did for you. I thought she did well with what she could do, and I applaud Nick, of course, for stepping up. And again, that's what these kind of moments are about. That's what when they walk away from this experience, those moments will stand out.
That's what they'll remember.
They'll remember that. You know, my
100%.
mate being there for me and stepping up, or you know what I mean? Like that's good. That's cool. That's what it's about.
100%.
They got 3 9s for 27, which
it's a good score, I think.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really good score. Do you think it was fair?
I mean,
About where it was?
I think
would you
so.
put it at?
I think so. And it was a group effort, you know, like think of all the components that came together, like you guys are saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After everything that happened, the team coming together, it deserved 9s, I think. I do think so.
I just got to say, you know, if anyone, I've been in the hospital before. When you leave the hospital, you're usually quite drained. You've got no life in you.
Yeah.
You've had an IV. You may, you know, all of those things. For her, you have to have a tremendous desire to perform and do what she did last night, to go from the hospital to do that. And so for me, I just have so much respect for that, because it's probably what I would do. So for those people that think, oh, she shouldn't have done it, whatever, that's what you would have done. You would have been too sick to go and perform and whatever, but like, I think it's amazing.
She's invested.
She's invested.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she did step up for her team, and she showed up, and she did what she could. And if she couldn't have, she wouldn't have.
True.
But,
true.
I mean, we could argue everybody, all points of view, everybody can.
I'm
It's a
so
tough one.
conflicted with it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's very, I can see your point so clearly, and
Yeah.
it makes so much sense. And then when I think about the other side of it, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's so many variables to weigh up on this,
But I will go back, at the end of the day, this couple was not going anywhere this week, regardless if she was sick or not. Unless she hadn't shown up completely, and then they had to
Exactly.
disqualify her or whatever. But yeah. So to me, it doesn't affect that. But right. So that leads us into the elimination, and well, we got to talk. We have to really quick talk about the commercial break and having the married couple in jeopardy together, and then coming back and airing what Carlos said to his lovely wife Alexa, that this is what they want. Let them have it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that means, and Shirley Ballas said this weeks ago, that this is a man that knows how this show works, and that's how he has come across to her, and I agree. Yes, it's a reality show. They want that drama. They want that. Yeah, it's drama. Or what else do you call it? And what did you guys think about that?
I mean, it was going to happen, wasn't it? I mean, like you said, it was one of those things, they were going to do it. But to me, that was just like, yawn, with the most respect. I'm just like, I don't want to see that. Like, I think it just took it a little too far. It took it,
There was too much drama. I think maybe if they wanted to do that, maybe save it for another week. There was a lot of drama happening, with Tamar. So
they just wanted to keep building it, didn't they?
yeah, I think opportunity missed for them for another week, I think. But yeah, it was sad. But the entire commercial break, she was in tears the whole time. They were standing there for a good 5 minutes. So I could not believe that they got chosen to leave. Wait, did they just say that?
Okay. For me, before the commercial break, and even when we came back, Mark and Alexa, I know Kristen, I think she agreed with me, hopefully I can say that, knew that they were going to be going. You could just see it on their faces. That's my take. That's strictly my opinion, because again, people kind of know how the show goes, and I think Alexa kind of knew it was going to be her, and it is more high drama to have her go.
True.
At this point, which is I was not surprised, you guys. It was not surprising at all to me, because this is how it works every season. There's always a couple you're like, no, but it doesn't matter.
I'm usually not surprised. Usually it's just like, okay, especially, sometimes it just happens. You go out early, but with this, and I mean, this isn't early by any means, no. She's lasted a really long time. But with that performance, it was just a tough pill to swallow.
Yes.
Agreed. That's what was rough.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, when it's your time, it's your time. So it's unfortunate, but it's the votes.
Yeah. Or is it?
Or is it in their case, unfortunately? Mark's going to be like, really, how sensitive are you?
I know, right?
Thanks, friend.
No, I don't.
You're so welcome.
For me, it should have been not Carlos. It should have been another couple that was safe. I can't even think of his name right now. Alec and Lindsay. Thank you. That's who should have gone. If we had gone just by. Which never happens.
just by
dancing. It would have been
for a second.
I know. Let's just take that in. That's a good point.
Let that marinate.
Yeah, we'll never see that. So it would have been Alec and Lindsay, but of course not.
Oh gosh,
it's a bigger drama to have the married couple. One of them leaving. Yeah, sad to see them go. It's a bummer.
Very sad, very uncomfortable. But
for those of you that are super upset, relax, take a deep breath, because this is how it rolls every season. Yep. And you know what I mean?
So much better.
Meditate here on the elimination process.
It's time for some time.
What was it like, though, in studio, the energy when it was happening?
When the elimination happened?
Yeah.
Wow. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, there was a bit of booing going on there, to be honest.
Booing.
big gasp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Even the
dumbfounded,
judges
really.
were
And you know what? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm going to say it. The producers backstage, they understood. Yes.
Yeah, I really expected Carlos to go, to be honest, just based on the performances of that night, and she was amazing. I just did not expect that people would have voted for her to go.
Shirley Battles say, well, it's a reality show, guys, and that's the way it goes.
That's right. That's right.
This is true.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up, but predictions moving into the semifinals next week. Who do we think?
Your AfterBuzz.
Here we go.
This is so fun.
I know, right? Who are you concerned about going next week? Or who would you like to see go? Now it's more not being concerned. It's like they need to go.
Okay, so I think at this point, Alec and Lindsay, unless he comes out with something that's just like total showstopper.
But again, he's being
completely
judged on
agree.
this week. The scores are from
then
this week, right?
I would
Supposedly.
say, supposedly, I would say them for sure.
Yeah.
I'm in agree.
Hopefully Tamar's well,
Yeah.
but I would definitely say Alec and Lindsay.
Do you think...
They need to step it up.
Okay, I agree. Do you think in Jeopardy it is Tamar and Val and Alec and Lindsay, or do you think they throw Alec and Lindsay and a shocking couple?
Like Bindi and Derek.
Well,
Right, somebody that we know is
gonna
going to be
get
in the
through.
finale.
where do you come back from with the drama this week? They've got to...
Right.
Yeah, they might just have to go legit this week. Come in.
Maybe.
I agree.
It's just too
Just
much.
like, just really,
Yeah.
just like keep
Chill.
it simple. Don't get too crazy with it all. Don't throw us for a loop. Just keep it real calm. You know, give us 1 week without
gosh.
please.
This is when everybody gets up in arms at the end of the season. It's always like just
It's true.
high
Focus on the
emotions,
dancing.
right?
Yeah.
It is,
Right.
it is. And they've all been working so hard for such a
know.
long time. There's so much energy,
Yeah.
emotions. You know,
Everybody wants to win at this point.
They do.
Yeah. I was really pleased with a lot of dances this week overall, like in terms of all the weeks that we've had. There's a lot that made me stand up, and that's to get me out of my chair.
That's really true.
There were a few tens.
Yeah. Right?
It was a really good show. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
No drama, but
Great show. Great show in studio.
The drama just
awesome.
rolls off my back just because I'm so for me it's the same thing. Like it could have been injuries and whatever, but I expect it. That's all. I just know how the show goes and what they want, and it's just to be expected. But we will see how it turns out next week, right? And I think they do the trios.
is that what's happening next week?
I do
Trios?
believe so. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Team Craigie was tweeting
Oh, that would
about
be
that.
awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I love that.
when they pick the pro.
Yeah,
to
and
join
it just
them.
adds another dynamic. It kind of gives them more energy, I think, when
Right.
it's kind of coming towards the end. It just like gives them another, person
Yeah.
in there to kind of help them, give them a boost. So for
agree.
sure, excited for that.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you so much for
you so
joining
much,
us.
Belinda.
Do you want
Thank
if you want people to reach out to you, where can they find you
Yes,
at?
do,
You don't
guys.
have to. No pressure.
No pressure.
I'm on Twitter at B Dudley. That's
There you
DVLI.
go. Watch out. You're
There
going to
you
get
go.
some awesome tweets now.
Darvina. You can find me at Divadav on Instagram and on Twitter.
All right. And I am at Suri Serano on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, you name it. Snapchat, which I'm obsessed with now. All of them. We thank you so much for tuning in every week. And I think, Kristen will not be back next week, but we'll be back. We'll all be together for the finale.
Yay.
So we will be here next week, though.
We will.
Thank you so much. See you
Thanks, guys.
later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.